The Smart Hashtag 1 has some good lessons for other vehicle makers, particularly the legacy vehicle makers. The Smart Hashtag 1 illustrates the right way to do a number of aspects of the vehicle. So, the characteristics of the electric motor system is that it is vastly superior to the combustion engine motor system in many ways. With the electric motor system, if you're not trying to create a hyper sports vehicle, but instead have a road vehicle and sensibly driven, then no transmission is needed. And that saves a lot of cost and mass and volume consumption. And the electric motor is much more compact, that goes to volume, and much lower mass than the combustion engine motor. Now, with all these strengths of the electric motor system, that should be fully taken advantage of. There's a natural win over the combustion engine type of vehicle that is there for the taking with electric vehicles. So make sure that the electric vehicle is properly powered. Well, the Smart Hashtag 1 is trying to be a useful vehicle for people, for real living, sensible driving, and it's got 200 kilowatts and it's rear wheel drive. Now that's the way to do it. The power weight ratio with that vehicle is good, and that's how all vehicles should be. So somebody can point out that, well, Tesla has always followed this rule. Their vehicles have been well powered, have had good power weight ratio. That's all true. It's that some people can be so familiar with Tesla and they say, well, that's just Tesla and Tesla does things. What we're trying to establish is a rule set, and the reason why those rules are the rules that all vehicle makers should follow. You need to spend the money on the right things here, and the vehicle should be an excellent vehicle and a value purchase. Make sure the vehicle is not underpowered. We're not talking about having some super fast vehicle. We're saying that the vehicle should be nowhere near being a slug. It should nowhere near be slow. Acceleration is a safety factor. If you're just about to get T-boned, if you're in danger, if you're halfway through a corner and you need to move, the vehicle must move when you need it to move. Acceleration is a safety factor. When you're on the highway and you're trying to pass it, you're out there now and you need to accelerate, will the vehicle accelerate for you? Acceleration is a safety factor. So that's the right way to relate to it. It's not about thrill. It's not about driving excitement or anything like that. It's about safety. So the Smart Hashtag 1 gets this right. It's got a rear wheel drive. If it's a single motor vehicle, go with the rear wheel drive. There's a number of good reasons for that. And it's well powered. This vehicle has 200 kilowatts. Now, number 2 is that the Smart Hashtag 1 has good safety performance. It's a 2022 Euro Cap standard, and it got 96% for adult occupancy, 89% for the second row seat. All vehicles should have high grade safety that should not be compromised on. That's part of the rule set. So then the third feature that has been highlighted out in this file is that it has a high quality air filter system. Now, it needs to be the real thing, not sort of a half-baked air filter. This is for having clean cabin air for the occupants there. You're driving in traffic, it's a polluted city, you're in behind a diesel truck or whatever, there's another diesel van out behind you, and you're surrounded by all of this pollution source. The cabin should be there with the protection support of a air filter, a high quality air filter system. And the Smart #1 top trims have these high quality air filter systems. So that's this other aspect. It makes for a checklist. If it's a single motor vehicle, it's rear wheel drive. Make sure it's very well powered, it's got a good power weight ratio. Make sure it has excellent safety performance. And when we're talking safety performance, the centerpiece is if you have a crash. Don't go and play games with these sort of active safety systems and start trying to point everybody to that and pretend that then if it doesn't perform well in a crash, that it somehow wouldn't matter. The centerpiece is that if it got into a crash, what's the survivability, what's the sort of protection for the human beings so that they get out of it unscathed. First, don't get into a crash, yes, but if you're in a crash, how well does the vehicle system protect you? And then if you're not in a crash, well, you're still exposed to getting damaged out there via air pollution. So has it got an excellent air filter system? So these are some lessons that all vehicle makers, making EVs is the focus here, the future vehicles, and particularly legacy automakers that have put out vehicles that have failed over a whole lot of basics. And it's really quite appalling that they put out vehicles and they're underpowered. And this is when you're building an electric vehicle. It's easy to give an electric vehicle all the power that makes for good performance for safety purposes. So it is a bad fail to be underpowering the vehicle. So this is about collecting up lessons, having a list, having a checklist, and building electric vehicles correctly. There's other things that the Smart #1 does well, but these are the ones being highlighted out in this video. I'll end the video there. Subscribe and thumbs up on the video and plus or minus comment for the YouTube algorithm. Thanks.